tarot. So Jeremy, tell me about how the tarot started. Like, how did it all start?
Tarot itself was originally a card game.
Okay.
Started in northern Italy, which at that time was starting to become a barony type of place where kings and royals were setting up shop in southern France and all of that. So the city of Marseille was where a lot of the elite were living, and they used to play it as a card game, and then it became a part of the subculture of the gypsies or the Romanians that were moving in, and they picked it up and used the architecture of it for divination.
Yes, divination. And this is not an evil tool. This
No.
is a tool to use to help yourself, and it's a tool to help others. And the reason psychics and mediums often use tarot is just to be able to get insight into, from a higher source, to be able to get insight, to be able to help you help yourself. And it's my belief that there are gifts within each of us from a higher source, the divine. And, hidden in our heart, there's subconscious. It's like a box that holds our destiny, fate, and desires and potentials, even areas of weakness. So if we're comfortable in exploring them, they can turn into our strengths. And tarot is a powerful tool that you can use to connect with that source. It's larger than just your physical and mental self, so you connect with unlimited potential. And it's a way of communicating with the higher source outside of your prayers and meditations and intentions. So do you have anything to add to that, Jeremy?
Yeah, I do, actually. Here's some of my contemplation on the tarot today, if you'd like some of that. There are aspects of the tarot in all of us, personality-wise, as well as everything in reality. There's a way to apply the energy of the tarot into all aspects of everything. I could say that chair has particular qualities of like a chariot or something,
Yes.
So it has a quality that I can give that adjective that is also associated with the tarot card. So being back to the me part of that, like every aspect of me in some way or another has the potential for that energy. So that's really where my thoughts were today on the tarot card.
Yeah, and I just think they're so fun because when I do a reading, I first connect with my spirit guides and I ask my guides as well as other spirits and angels to assist me in helping my client in all the areas. And then I back up what they say afterwards with the cards, and the cards will completely agree with what they say.
That's
Isn't
amazing.
that cool?
That is.
Yes, it's really cool. So it is only designed to help others and help yourself. And so that is, it's a tool of the divine.
Yeah. Now, we had pulled 3 cards to do specific like detail on those cards.
Yeah.
And I do have the video thing to be able to, so I can show the video on the YouTube page.
Yeah.
And that way the people will be able to see the 3 cards if you have all that.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
And I do want to say that we're going to focus on just 3 cards today of the major arcana, which comprises of how many cards, Jeremy?
22/21.
Yes.
Because 0 doesn't count for nothing.
And each of these cards blends together symbols, the elements of nature, air, water, fire, and earth, color, and numerology in a way that showcases like special moments of personal, internal, or external transformation. So it's kind of like a little map to help you along your life journey. So should we go ahead and show the card?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay.
Let me go ahead and get that ready. It's right over here.
And we're highlighting the sun, the world, and judgment.
Yeah.
So those are just 3 of the major arcana cards.
Our listeners won't be able to see this, but our Viewers will.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I will say the sun is all about I'm entering in a time of great joy and happiness and success in my life. It brings the message of joy, abundance, good vibes. Reversed, it's like the light's still there. It's just you may not be able to see it. So, or that success is late, or you're at the tail end of a celebration if it's reversed. So reversed, it means, it's
like a eclipse.
Yeah, it doesn't mean it's the opposite. It means that it's, slanted.
Yeah, that's
and
cool.
A different message.
I figure out how to aim this thing.
So
it's different than the phone.
That is what the sun is.
That's cool.
And this is from a book that is wonderful, that is by Jessica Wiggin. And I highly recommend her.
Okay.
Great. Should we go on with the next one?
Yeah, let's show all 3 cards. I guess.
So now Judgment. Let's talk about Judgment. That is, I'm leaving one phase of my life and entering into the next, completely reborn. A lot of times if you get reversed Judgment.
Come on, the Peter Parker glasses are cool.
If you get reversed Judgment, a lot of time that also signifies, that you've had some judgment against you, or that perhaps you did something illegal and you're recovering from a judgment. So that
I can see it that way too.
Be that message.
It is similar in justice as well. The Red Cross is kind of emblematic of like Templars and stuff when it comes to the angel symbology that was used by the that would be Pixie Smith who drew that. So at that time that represented the Templars.
Yeah.
And that angel would have been an archangel, so that's almost like a judgment of God type metaphor.
Yeah, and it's almost like, something's happening, it kind of shakes you up, but you know exactly what you have to do, and you have to just do it, and you have to be brave when doing it.
Yeah.
So that's Judgment.
Okay.
So we'll go on to the next one, which is the World. That's fun.
That is my second favorite card.
Yeah, and that is like completing something, the final stages of something.
Show me. Right.
And yeah,
show me. I don't know if I'm aiming at myself or not.
Hello.
Oh, no, what am I doing?
Yes. So the World, we're talking about the World card.
Yeah. The World card, I used on that first set of business cards that I made for Mulberry. I actually used the World Tarot from the Marseille deck as my image card.
Yeah.
I like it that much.
Yeah, I like it too. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And
the telling of it. Anyway.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well, it just, the World's like,
so cool.
That you've made a lot of strides towards your goals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, And all right, so that was the pictures and that was the cards. Let's go ahead and play another song. No big surprise, titled "Fortune Teller." At least I won't have to cut out the words "fortune teller" when I avoid copyright by uploading to YouTube. Okay, I think that was the end of the tune. All right, so death. All right, so I wanted to talk about this card specifically because I definitely know for myself when I'm doing a reading, it doesn't mean death, and even death upside down doesn't mean life either.
Right.
So in here, in the book, death is the card of total and complete transformation, is one of the favorites with the author within the major arcana, because when this card appears, it reveals that the circumstances around you have entered into a cycle of purging, cleansing, and releasing. Something around you now is coming to completion to make room for new growth. Whenever there is an ending, there is always a beginning, and the death card is a symbolic representation of that process occurring in your life now. With any kind of death, that energy is born anew in some other form. You may be releasing toxic people, thoughts, or things, moving from one place to the next, or saying goodbye to someone or something for now. And then the reverse would just be the opposite of that in the intent of the message of the card. And
Yeah.
That is similar enough to, I would end up with a reading that would project something of the future similar if my interpretation of the card was exactly the way that paragraph was. But mine's easier for me to just kind of put together for myself. Death represents entropy, right? And yes, that is true. When you die, when you are the skeleton of death, that is a very rapid form of entropy on you. But that's not the only form of entropy. So I think death just represents the highest, purest form of entropy you can put into a body form to put onto a card. So I think it really represents.
It's major change. And reversed, it's saying that you're avoiding that necessary change. And that's not good to avoid it, because if you're holding on to something or grieving too much, you know, you've stopped experiencing the magic of your own life. And I found that if you can't resist change, it's going to happen. And if you try to resist it, it's going to kick you further down. So you got to kind of roll with the change.
Yeah.
And so that's what the, reversed is.
Yes. That's
saying you're resisting, stop resisting.
Don't
resist the change.
Like a black hole.
Yeah.
Sucking you in no matter what.
But it is alarming when you get the depth.
That is true. You see it and you're like, no. And I know any of our dear listeners that we will have one day in the future when the aliens come down. I have a joke that I always tell about the death card. And I know you've heard it because I've told it to you, but I'll tell it again anyway, because that's how it's always told. It'll be told by future generations because of me. Yeah. But there was a lady and she was having trouble at home. So she went down to a tent and went to talk to a fortune teller. She went and sat at the table. The lady pulls out the crystal ball and all the rest of the whole big deal and everything. And she sits there and she says, I see that in the future, very shortly, your husband will die. Beware. And she said, oh, well, the only reason I'm here is to find out how.
Oh, God. Yes, I'm over here cackling like a white witch, right?
It's still good humor. It's still, as far as I go on the dark side, I guess.
That's funny. No, too much.
That's hilarious.
Love it.
So we're if we throw on one more tune, which is just going to be titled Fortune Teller.
Okay.
Then that'll put us right at being able to say goodbye. And if anybody wanted to call in that might be logged in, they would be able to get a 1-card reading.
That's right. Yeah, we'll flip a card.
And 0, and there we are. So, all right, well, yeah, we're at minute 23. So if we kind of say our to-dos and goodbyes and reminding everybody to find us on TikTok, Instagram as Mulberry Bush 9340 and everywhere else around the Mulberry Bush. And Psychic Medium Tree, and definitely Psychic Medium Tree's services are on her page, and also you can find links there through the radio station as well that go directly to how to contact her and all that good stuff.
Yeah, so if you want a FaceTime or a Zoom reading with the tarot, I would love to read for you. So just call in, psychicmediumtree.com, and remember, just relax in your session because the tarot is fun and it's just insights and how to help you make your life better and give you little ideas on how you can kind of tweak your life to just improve it.
Right. And with anybody that would want to reach out that way, it definitely pays to try to do it a little bit in advance because you do have clients that come in and all the rest of that. So.
Yeah, so we will stay tuned. We will have more episodes on the tarot.
Yeah, okay. And here, no big surprise, the last song also titled Fortune Teller.